Evan can do. All right. Hey, everybody. We've got a little bit of extra content for you today. Our friend Grant Stevely from the Douglas Distillery, spelt Dubh Glass, but it's pronounced Douglas Distillery in the Okanagan, has joined us. We have a Douglas whiskey for the first time in our calendar this year. It's our day 15 dram. It is a preview of a very exciting Kensington Wine Market cask. We do have a slight mea culpa for you, which is that it sort of slipped under our radar that this bottle might be slightly under 50 mils. So, sorry.
Yeah.
As you'll note on our blog, we put a little post up. This was the last whiskey that was put into the calendar this year. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to complete the calendar until yesterday, as a matter of fact. And Stevely was kind enough to do this on relatively short notice to get us a whiskey to finish the calendar. But it escaped both of our attention that despite him ordering 50 ml bottles, this bottle was about 10 to 15 mils short of that. So again, apologies. That's all we want to say about that. Because the whiskey's great and it's an exciting opportunity to try whiskey that rarely makes it out of British Columbia, unless you happen to be there on vacation. Stevely's got a distillery just north of Oliver. It makes an incredible gin, noteworthy. It's one of our favorite gins in the shop, New Western dry style gin, but he's also maturing whiskey, including this Kensington Wine Market cask, which came out at an astounding 75.4%. Stevely, how the hell does that happen?
Yeah, I think you certainly know when I gave you the phone call when we talked about putting this, and I gave you a call and it was 75.4%. It's pretty high. It's one of the highest that we've ever pulled out of the barrel, but it's just a maturation that happens over time, much like Indian single malt whiskey, some places in Australia, certainly Kavalan as well. We're losing more water than alcohol, so our alcohol percentage climbs over our 62.5% cask fill rate. So in Scotland, you see that go down. Here, we're seeing it go up.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. All right, I want to nose and taste this, but should we before we do that, should we just do a really quick tour of your distillery, which you're in right now? It's right behind you.
Yeah, let's do that. And I've got the cask ready, so I'll show you the cask as well. So in much the same way as they do in Scotland, we do double distillation. We use 100% malted barley. You see our last whiskey release. That's just our remaining whiskey. So everything's done on site in a very traditional way. We lauder as well. Not a lot of distilleries do that, but we consider it very important. And then in the back, in the depths here, I wanted to show you the Kensington Wine Market cask there that's been signed by some savvy whiskey people over the years, including Davin de Kergamo. Actually,
Cool.
Here looks like he was here in 2018. So a lot of signatures. I know I see Evans and Andrew's name both on there. Andrew's been here a couple of times, so you've signed that. So
look at that. So
yeah.
we're 6 years of age here, Stevely.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, and this cask, as you know, certainly has a bit of history because you drove that barrel all the way from Kentucky in your Volvo.
Well, kind of. Technically the barrel was from Kentucky. It was delivered to our store, and then I speedily drove it out to the Okanagan to fill it with whiskey. And that was kind of funny because I remember I didn't realize I had like straps for tying down cargo in the back of my Volvo, but I did. They came in quite handy because you can imagine that thing would have been rolling around something fierce if I hadn't had it tied down fairly thoroughly. But
I do remember the smell of your vehicle when you got here and that aroma that was inside.
It was fairly warm out. I remember I had to drive with my windows down for a good chunk of that just to not get high off of the what is it, the devil's cut that was coming out of the cask. Anyway, Stevely, the nose on this, like, it's surprisingly not sharp at 75%. Like I was expecting to get like almost eye-watering vapors coming off the nose, but it's not like that. Loads of citrus, barley.
Yeah, I'm getting some like lime and lemon rind. I don't want to, like, for me, there's an underlying sweetness here too, as well. I don't want to say sugar crisp because that might seem a bit
But
pretentious,
it's
but it's
power of
certainly.
suggestion. I'm getting a little bit of Captain Crunch now. So, but before that, I was getting those like red shoelaces. You know, like kind of like red licorice, but a little
Yeah.
bit different, a little bit waxy. Well, let's go ahead and give it a quick taste. On the palate, wow, it's warm, spicy, rich. I expect most people might find that this requires a drop of water or two because it is almost a double proof whiskey. I mean, we're only a couple of degrees off from that. So
Yeah, certainly short in stature, but real, or tall in stature, short, but very tall in stature.
yeah, but creamy, toasty, fruity, nice palate to it. So,
and I find with water as well, typically in a lot of our whiskeys, they take water really well. It really brings out an underlying sweetness in the whiskey as well. So this is the first whiskey that we have actually sold or had the opportunity to go out anywhere than the distillery. So even though it's been available in Alberta, it's actually never been sold in a liquor store in BC. We sell everything off site here. So this is the first retail whiskey that's made its way beyond the distillery doors.
well, and I think we're probably going to have to talk about when to bottle it soon, because we don't want the angels to take this thing all the way to nothing. So
certainly, yeah, because we lose typically 10 to 12% annually in the distillery.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Well, Steve Lee, thanks for joining us for this. We won't keep you. I know you're still at work, and it's you know, there's never a shortage of things to do in there, whether it's making whiskey, bottling gin. But appreciate your time today, and yeah, thanks for this, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks as well. Have a great Christmas, Andrew, and thanks for including us. There's a fabulous lineup of whiskeys there, so we feel pretty humbled to be part of everything that's in the calendar this year. So thanks again.
Thank you. All right, thanks everyone. That's it for today. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.